and transitioning. What is up, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Welcome to the SNAKEsquad Christmas event final. My name is ImPERium, and I'm going to be here bringing you 4 awesome games and see who's going to come out with a lion's share of a $300 prize pool. But I am not alone. For the first time for myself as well, and for her first English cast, I'm going to be casting with the one and only Sufi. How are you getting on, Sufi?
Hello everyone, I'm very excited. Kind of nervous. Mostly excited about this. This is insane. This is a first time experience and I'm really excited. Thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much to SNAKEsquad for holding this event, and of course to all the teams that are participating. Definitely super excited to be casting with yourself and seeing how things go. To give you an idea of what teams are playing in today's final, the list of teams are scrolling on the bottom of all the overlays, and bar the one that's currently being shown, but is the list of teams. You have the likes of SNAKEsquad, NAIX Congenials, NASR Esports, Power Esports, Clown Esports, No Limits, the 963 AF, Fly Team, Rad Team, Frag Machines, Team NH, Kurdish Boy Sqaud, Power Esports, the Zombies, the Spark Esport, and Ghetto Esport. Now, a question for you, Sufi, is do you have much experience within the teams in terms of, do you know too much about them, or what is your experience with them?
Okay, well, for many scrims and events, I've seen a lot of these incredible teams. We've got SNAKEsquad, NASR Esports. I was one of the streamers for the PMAL, and they were one of the teams that were participating in this event. We've got the Power Esports. I'm also very familiar with the team. Cool. We've got the 963. They also participate in a lot of my clan's scrims. Kurdish Boy Sqaud, we're also in the PMAL. We've also got the Zombies. I know a lot of them are personally incredible players. So yeah, I'm very familiar with a lot of these teams.
Awesome. So we have the order maps are going to be Miramar, Sanhok, Vikendi, and Erangel. I like the fact that we are ending on Erangel because it just always feels good ending on the OG map, so to speak. But starting with Miramar, Sufi, what kind of, what do you think is terms of the general best practices on the Miramar map and how the team should be playing around the terrain?
Well, to me, I feel like it all depends on the playing path at the beginning.
Okay.
That gives a lot of gives a chance to play for players to be ready, and it kind of draws the path for all players to rotations and everything that's going to be right in front of them at the beginning of the first safe zone or the first phase. And so yeah, that plays a huge part, especially for a huge map just like Miramar. So the first thing that I kind of notice, and I feel like that's what everyone kind of is afraid of, is the playing path.
Yeah, definitely. The playing path can always hamper how things do go down. We are going to be getting into this first game soon enough, though, as we are loading into the map, so things are going to be very exciting. Outside of the playing path, though, the circle can also play a huge part. When it comes to like massive circle shifts on Miramar, rotating, taking that option between rotating on the main road where you're somewhat exposed as a team, but it's at times a little bit faster compared to rotating on the rough terrain, which is like easy to get stuck, but also kind of you're a bit safer because there's a lot of bumps and divots. However, you're slower. What do you think is a situation, or for you, would you prefer to kind of go on the main road or take the bumpy, risky terrain?
To me personally, I I played scrims a lot with
Yeah.
my team that was in the Black Lives clan. I'm not really playing much now, unfortunately.
Okay.
But thing is, we used to take roads, um, and even though in Miramar it could be really dangerous to do that, and it could be exposed to a lot of
Yeah.
players are going to be in high positions, and that's really dangerous. The bombs really slow down your rotation, and
That's
that is
true.
really dangerous as well. Yeah.
So we do see the playing path is going to be quite westerly in this game one, which of course is going to hamper if you like to land around the Impala, Puerto Priso area. Of course, what you can do is drop relatively early on maybe the south coastal line, even Los Higos, grab a couple of vehicles and make your way on the coastline towards that area. Otherwise, for any teams that like to land to junkyard, should be too hard. El Azahar will require a little bit longer of a drop timing, but of course, you talked about the playing path. What are you looking in terms of drop spots for these teams?
Now, I don't think there's going to be a lot of cluster teams as we can see right now. Maybe Team 18, I think they're going to be landing with the team in Los Leones. That is expected. Los Leones is a great, a drop for teams that want to be
Yes.
already all set from the first phase. But we've also got no one is dropping at Picado, which is kind of a surprise here.
Is.
Yeah.
It very much is. And we do see frag machines are going towards Opposer. They're going to be the only team there, which I think is a pretty good start for them. Phase 1 pops up, and not only does it complement the playing path, but it's also quite central where pretty much very few teams are going to have, once they, survive any initial, hot dropping, it's going to be pretty easy for them to rotate nicely into the circle. This is a good start in my eyes.
I agree. That's a very good start. We've got a two cluster of teams. As you can see at the very north of the map, we've got, there we go, Team 16. By the way, I couldn't really spectate from my own device because some of the spectators from Snake Clan
No worries. Sorry about that.
couldn't really be in the slot. Yeah, that's fine.
So you're relying on my perspective that's going on. Okay, I'll try and give as much information to yourself. But either way, yeah, this fight that's going on between NAIX Congenials and the side of the zombies has started. They seem to be somewhat respecting each other, but definitely on the early drop spot, Basil has the AKM in his hands. He is taking a little bit of shots from one of the NAIX Congenials players, and it's going to be Jackie and Animin that comes in and gets the first kill for the side of NAIX Congenials, and that's going to leave the zombies down to just 2 players, as they did only start with 3, and they're sandwiched between the players of NAIX Congenials. So right now they're limited on loot. They've really got nowhere to go. It's not going to be easy for them.
Not at all. Starting with the trio is really difficult. Losing one player is just straight. It drops the squad down to duo. So that's already a kind of a rough start for them.
Definitely, I'm going to pan on over to this fight now. It's going on close towards Chumasera between Power Esports and Ghetto Esports. Deadline takes a harsh bit of damage. Is going to lose most of the health of his level 2 helmet. As Pavo looking to surround Deadline. Having a little bit of an oversight. For Getzo, they are separated somewhat with Rage as across the road. But Deadline is going to get first initial knock. It's a good start. Now he looks to disengage. Goes towards the other building. Nice play around as he looks to provide a little bit of time for the rest of his team to get closer to him. They got to realize that they have an opportunity to maybe get the better of Power Esports. That's going to be fired up. He's going to be put down to half health, and in comes the knockdown. The hands of Sub-Zero, and Pavo will, of course, get the revive off. There's no real clean response from the rest of the Getzo team. And do you think that was probably the wisest choice for Getzo in the sense of, he was on his own, there's no point, the rest of the team too far away, Sufi?
That could have been the case, but they're spread out, and I mean they have a nice view over the team Is it Pavo team?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a nice view. I mean, this players has a really nice view over them. So I'm really surprised why there isn't any shots. There isn't like any any intervening,
Reaction,
yeah,
basically.
or reaction from the Jetso team. And he really tried to delay it as much
He
as
did, didn't
possible,
he?
but yeah, it just didn't work. And there wasn't any reaction from them. It
A little
could,
bit
I
of a...
mean, it could be wise. I don't really know.
Of course, well, only time will tell. Only time will tell at the end of the day. Ghetto still have sightlines on the members of Pablo. You can see Kaios is looking in with that 2 scope. Now the shots are going to be coming through prone down, but he fluffs pretty much all of them, and Slaughter is just gonna go into that building. Solicy, should I say, is just gonna go into that building left untouched. That was a bit of an F in the chat, I feel, for Kaisu of Getso, where he definitely missed an opportunity to get a clean knock. You cannot miss those chances. You definitely cannot miss those chances.
I mean, with it 2 times, you kind of can miss all of them.
Hey, look, I'm gonna sound harsh because if you want to be the best, you gotta be the best, kind of thing, and I expect to see two X is no excuse when you're looking at the highest level. So I'm gonna be a little bit harsher, but you do make a bit of a point.
That is true. I think an iron sight would have been a lot better.
Fair. Well, either way, we'll have to see where a couple of other teams are. I said with a phase 1 circle bar teams kind of interacting with each other early on, it shouldn't be too hard for a lot of these teams. Definitely going to be a little bit more difficult for likes of SNAKEsquad, Clown, and Rad to maybe make their way because there's a little bit of traffic in the way as of right now. But as the Blue Zone closes in, I would imagine most of those teams on the edge, like NAIX and Superpower, are going to move closer into the center circle, right, Sufi?
Yeah, I think they should do that a lot earlier because we've got about like 4 teams right around that part of the circle.
We did see Getso did get a knockdown onto one of the Pavo players, but because they have the protection of the building, they're not really able to capitalize too heavily on that. And because they're separated 1-1-1, Getso right now, they need to get a double knock for them to engage more heavily on towards the members of Pavo. Gonna show the area that No Limit holds on to. It's a great spot to the north of Picado. It's high ground in this kind of circle. It's quite central as well. But do you think they should be spread out a little bit more, Sufi? Do you think that they should look to maybe spread their wings a bit so they can gather a little bit more information before phase 2 pops up?
I think what they're doing right now is like it's trying to loot, be all set on that. And as you can see already, there's a player that is taking the high ground and other players that are, I think, positioning in a way that you just mentioned.
Wait and see. We do see the side of the Spark Esport. They are in the power grid train. Nothing really too bad for them to hold down. I like the fact that they have a little bit of a 3-1 split. I really am a fan of that, especially as early as phase 1. And how central that circle is, there's a much higher chance that no teams are going to be full sending it into that area because of the amount of space that are around. We do see NAIX Congenials looking to overpower the side of Power Esports, and they do get another knockdown onto slow mode. But we'll have to wait and see if the rest of the team can provide a little bit of extra support as Diesel, Iraqi, and Reaction are a little bit further back. It seems like Reaction and Diesel are further away, so it's really all about Iraqi and what he can do. He did get a knockdown onto one of the NAIX Congenials players. Now he's going to be sending himself up. That's going to be a bike play coming out. Iraqi looks for the drop shots, but he's not going to come down. Kvik comes in, takes him out. And that's going to be another kill for NAIX, and a little bit of a lucky opportunity for NAIX Congenials, because that could easily, and it probably should have been, a double kill for Iraqi.
That was going to end badly, especially with the full damage that he was going to take, but wow, that was amazing.
Absolutely crazy indeed. We do see the side of Frag Machines and NASR Esports both occupying that very high ground to the east of El Pozo. Those are two areas that I'm always imploring teams to explore and hold on to because it's quite high, and again in this kind of circle it is quite important. What do you make of these kind of areas that the two teams currently hold on to?
That is definitely a great high position. I am a huge fan of sniper shots. So we've got a sniper in the Nasr team, and that he's definitely gonna have a great role. And oh whoa, there we go.
There
That's
you
the
go.
high position is already given a lot of advantage for the Nasr team.
Nice cheeky knockdown by Hamid onto Freak of Frag Machines. Good start for them. Let's see if they can capitalize on that. Clever. There's a drift and flank a little bit more northwards. Maybe looking to spot a couple of shots into Hamodi. I don't know if he's actually seen Hamodi. It kind of looks like he has. If not, Hamodi is definitely taking a couple of shots. So Clever has the third person perspective. Going to switch on over to the Mini 14. If you can find those angle shots. He doesn't want to take those shots unless he is actually certain he can connect onto them in my eyes, because he knows he's on his own. So if he gets knocked, he's going to be a sit and duck himself. He has to really take advantage of that flank position.
Definitely has to be aware of the fast reactions that Frog players have.
Phase 2 has popped up, and it did center up quite nicely. Whoa, what is this kind of Miramar game? It's clean. Goes a little bit to the west, so it probably will put a tiny bit more pressure on the northeastern teams, because you don't really want to go into San Martin, so there's a little bit of a chunk of area inside this phase 2 circle which you'll want to avoid, so it will cause a little bit more suppression. Otherwise, again, it's a relatively clean phase 2.
Which is quite a surprise for Miramar phases.
Really, really is. We see Sadat from Rad. Gonna get close to the 963 side, opting maybe to just move away from that. I don't know if they had information on the 963 there, but I definitely say that's a wise choice to move away. Like, what's your thoughts on early game fights? Do you think it makes sense? Do you think it's worth the potential risk? What would be your thoughts on it?
I feel like those should only happen if the team is just, they don't have any type of, like, they can't, you know,
Nothing
not
to
engage in
lose?
fights anymore. Yeah, kind of. And that's what they need, you know, more kills, or that's what
Yeah.
they need to get their rank up.
Okay.
Otherwise, early games are very risky. You don't want to die too soon.
Yeah.
You know, if it's the first, second match. Today we have four matches. Right?
We do.
Yeah, so there's I don't think there's an excuse for people for players to engage in
Fair.
early fights.
The next Conditional is now moving in onto a train held onto SNAKEsquad. They both rotate in a similar area from the northeast, opting to go a little bit more north on the Crater Fields location. The high ground, of course, is always quite valuable, but when you have multiple teams both rotating in that train, it does cause a little bit of action. Next Congenials pinched in between the 2-2 split of SNAKEsquad. So really, SNAKEsquad have the huge advantage in this area, and we see one of the members of Next Congenials just getting the hell out of there, realizing, it's not worth it in any way taking this fight. Animan dips down the hill into the safety of that compound, sprays up. It's going to look to get knocked down in the series, not quite connecting. And as he's the last player standing due to Vitamin getting knocked down, getting confirmed. That was really a huge payoff for SNAKEsquad rotating on a 2-2 split into that area where they were able to sandwich Next Congenials. We see the side of the Spark Esports pushing in onto No Limits. Definitely, No Limits have got some limits inside this building, as I believe it's Rex as the last player up for his side. A limited amount of health. He's got no med kits, so it's all... Actually, no, he did put off a full first aid kit. Goes for the pre-fire shots. He has to reload, although he didn't have to reload. It was, of course, Scary that had to reload. And now Reek Once again, down to low health, but did get 2 kills. It's a 2-2. Pre-fire comes out, but it's not going to be enough. And it is going to be Spark Esports that comes out on top. Losing 2 players, but they will claim the squad wipe.
He really did his best, and getting 2 kills. He got that squad down to duos. That's insane.
I say that was the
nothing to lose.
pretty damn good attempt.
Yeah, he had to get that finish ready right before the knockdown.
Now we see phase 3. It's the first hard shift, going very heavily down the southwest, which was generally unoccupied. Monte Nuevo in play. You've got the fields of El Pozo, which really you tend not to want to go, but you do have the very high terrain to the east of El Pozo, which is playable. It's rotational, but if you don't get there early enough, you will pay the price. NASR Esports rotating close by to the side of Kurdish Boy Sqaud, but they are still up as a full squad. They are setting themselves nicely inside the circle, going close to the road. Pavo have moved in towards the outskirts of Monte Nuevo. Nobody is on that southerly El Pozo area other than Team 16. I think that would be a great position to hold on to. What's your thoughts on that area?
Definitely, that's such a great position to hold on to. But I think players are more afraid of another hard shift, and that's why they're all occupying this part of the map right now.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Side of Team NH, and they're going to be playing around the high hills, rotating up. It's going to take a little bit of time on the passion wagon, as I like to call it. Up those hills, it's going to take a little bit of time. Rather going to play around the crater fields. They might be going for actually a northern rotation on towards the El Pozo city. Like, you know, should a team rotate into El Pozo this early, or is it the right time to go for that city push, knowing that if it shifts away hard from the city on the next circle, that it's going to be really hard to disengage?
Yeah, I don't think El Pozo is going to be such a great position right now. A little bit further into the circle is going to be a lot better. We've got a lot of teams still outside of the safe zone right now, which is surprising and also exciting. I don't know how they're going to rotate. We've got Team 17.
Yeah, the Spark
They might be
Esports.
rotating a little bit up of Team 14, which is, I can't see that quite clearly.
Kurdish Boy Sqaud gonna look to gatekeep the Spark Esports, but the Spark Esports may be recognizing that they should go for a little bit of a smoother movement into the circle and kind of play around the edge and look to kind of push in on the side, which is definitely cleverly done. Getso Esports to go safety quite far into the circle to the south of both of the two teams who are currently on the edge of the eastern side, with the 963 on that southeast edge. The circle does shift northwest into El Pozo, with the fields also occupying this area quite heavily. And SNAKEsquad, they made the push. Could that pay off? Will they be able to control this city and punish a hell of a lot of teams looking to make their way in?
That was definitely unexpected.
Oh, one of the SNAKEsquad players gets caught out at the hands of Rad. So Snake are down to 3. Rad have made their way in on the northern edge of this El Pozo city, looking pretty good. Up also as a full squad. We see NAIX Congenials pushing in, Frag Machines pushing in on the edge. This is going to be very tricky dicky indeed for all of these teams playing around this around this El Pozo city. You're going in blind, Frag Machines, and you might just pay the price on that minivan as SNAKEsquad takes his shots. Frag Machines minivan will get put into a smoky blister of fire, but will not blow up, and SNAKEsquad have pushed Frag Machines into that area. Now we see a fight breaking down between the NH team and this side of Team 10, which is Fly Team, baby. Come fly away with me. My team gets 2 players knocked down. Looking for the revives up. I believe that's going to be the case. I think it's just Viagra. inside this warehouse pretty much on his own. Goes for a lovely jump shot, but he actually puts more damage onto himself rather than his opponent. So there's a little bit of an F in the chat. The rest of his team, your friend Tudor and Viagra. I know these players before. I've casted this team before, but it was under a different name, but I forget what team name it was in the past. And now we'll have to wait and see what they're going to do in these pre-fire shots. There's multiple teams that could be firing around them. That's a risk at this kind of area where you can't get third-partied. A nice grenade goes out. Your friend is going to be trying to deal around this area. Tudor. Oh, nice push on the back of that molly from the side of NH. Now, they're going to look for the rest of the fly team pushing in. Nice shots from Tudor. Once again, gets a second knockdown. That's going to be another one. It's just going to be one player left standing for Fly. But from behind, he's going to look for that confirmation. The squad wipe, not quite. He's going to hold on. Rod, he's going to look for the third knock. He gets a squad wipe. What an insane clutch out from Mitch Royd. Oh my lord, off the back of the mollies, off the back of the successful push from an NH team, it was one player in the corner that got all the shots and got all the glory.
Put all his trust in that gun.
Baby! And all the while the circle actually shifted in their favors. That's going to benefit them even more as Frag Machines punish Rad. It's an El Pozo City / Field finish Ying and Yang Phase 5. A superpower trying to play around on the edge, but they're going from one fire to another. They've yet to make their way into the circle. It's the same with Pavo. Pavo playing around the outskirts. Going to go into low ground by the side of the road in the middle of the circle, but it's not going to be easy to hold on to. There's so many teams left. We got 12 teams, 30 players left standing in this game. And hey, you got to give it to the teams that didn't go into the city, like Team 14 Kurdish Boy Sqaud. Even though they're in the fields, there's a lot of hay bales, there's a lot of small little coverings that they're going to be able to stay protected with, and they're away from multiple teams.
I'm stuck on that squad wipe. I'm sorry.
Hey, I genuinely don't blame you. It was absolutely insane. I was not expecting it to happen. Oh boy, but that's what I love about PUBG Mobile Esports. Expect the unexpected. SNAKEsquad still inside the circle, still inside this game as a 3-man team leader. I mean, the same building as the members of Rad, but he's on his own, so he cannot push too aggressively. Also, with the fact that there are still multiple teams around him, gotta play it very safe indeed. NASR Esports down to just one player left, and Fly Team are going to be up as 2. The clutch master indeed. It's Roy, just absolutely insane with its devil making it work for their side. But they do have, I believe it is Power Esports down on the low ground, down to just one player. Hello, going to play down by the side of that buggy. It's a circle to shift over to the northeast, and it's outside of the field, and it's closer towards the city. Frag Machines might be able to gatekeep a couple of teams on their way into the circle on that northwestern edge, but by God, 22 players sandwiched into this close of an area, phase 6 inside the city. It's like a tin of sardines.
Can I just have a look at the phase? I can't really see it all that clear from
This is phase 6.
Okay.
I'm aware that you're playing with limited information, so I do apologize about that, but I'll be able to deal with what we can as the teams are going to be pushing their way in. Frag pushes Roof in, but it's by the side of the road, very limited covering. He does find a small bit of an area. I believe it's the last player of Pavo that's just on the other side of him, covered behind the smokes, as well as KB. They're playing around, looking for the shots on towards the Spark Esport. Gonna find them indeed. Sophie.
Yeah.
Down on the little dip. Looking for the last player, Getzo. Getzo's inside the blue. He's got nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Frag Machines gets one player knocked down off the back of another one. So I believe it's just Leader that's left standing for their side. Gonna look for the revive on the Sirius. But again, he's outside the circle of this Phase 7. Phase 7 has 7 teams and 14 players inside the city buildings of El Pozo. It's crazy. It is extreme, but god damn it, do I absolutely love to see it. KB pushed their way in. They got a little bit caught out, but they're at least making it work for now. For now, as NASR holds on with one player left standing, Fly inside that one juicy square warehouse. With Rad holding on as a one-man team.
Man, that building has seen some things.
It's like that building to the other buildings. I've seen some things, man. I've seen some things. Some more things. Let's Fly team. Try and protect it against KB. Of course, the good thing for Fly team is that they have the safety of being inside the building, whereas KB, to breach it, there is still the risk that they can get third-partied. NASR is down to 1, but inside the brunt of the blue zone, Schofield does find one player. SNAKEsquad did get both those revives off, but Sirius is going to get knocked by Frag Machines. Roof and Hamodi getting the job done for their side. As KB still up as 3, 5 teams left standing. Leader is going to get knocked. That's going to be the end of SNAKEsquad. They go down off the back of a pressuring Frag Machines across the road. Muno made his way across. I don't know how he did it, but by God did he make it. By God did he make it. Throws out a grenade. Plays by the side of that minivan. He's got no health. He's got nothing other than hopes, dreams, and staying inside this warehouse. He did chuck up a lovely Molotov that did get a knockdown onto one of the players of KB. So it gives him a little bit of time. You also have Frag Machines outside this building. And you have the last player of Fly team. It's Devil. 4 teams, 6 players. 2v1, v1, v1. And if I'm not mistaken, Hamodi has to make his way up to the side of that building. He can't stay where he is right now. I don't know why he went for the revive on the roof. Or is he going to make it work? I think that could be the case. He's on stop moving in. A little bit of a stalemate. Calm before the final storm here. It's KB. They have the man advantage. Well, they're on equal with Frag Machines, who have gotten their revive off to keep it up as a 2-man team. This is wild. Who do you think is going to come out on top, Sufi?
I think Team 14 is gonna have the better chance right here, but Frag Machine they have done amazing work. They were the furthest team from the safe zone, and they still got their way in, even though SNAKEsquad were right in front of them with 3 teams. So it's really a tie up here. I don't really know. There's the better positions for Team 14, but we've got unexpected moves from the Frag team.
It really could come down to the first who makes a push. Gonna be the first to go down. I get that the one-man armies are really trying not to make a move. Trying not to make inkling of a sound, hoping that they won't get spotted. Or getting into the 29-minute mark.
A NASR player, he doesn't have any health whatsoever.
He hasn't even been able to kind of loot anybody to grab a med kit. Like, and you could say he has level 3 vest and level 3 helmet, and kind of that's positive, but when you're like down to like
yeah, just dance it off.
When you're down to such low health, it probably doesn't make much of a difference. It's Devil is on the high ground kind of balcony area inside the warehouse, which is definitely going to help him. AB playing amongst the smokes down there on Schofield. Footsteps are being heard, but the thing is, They just don't have all the information on all of the footsteps.
Now he does have the high ground inside the building, but is that gonna help him when the circle comes closing down? I don't really know if that's the case.
Last phase pops up. It centers, of course, and I think it centers towards roof of frag machines, if I'm not mistaken. So, of course, all of the players inside this warehouse are now going to have to make their way in. Emodi going to play around the side. KB going to look for it. Does take down the last remaining player. NASR Esports, that's another kill in their side. It's Devil. Going to look to try and heal off. He does get one off. And shots are going to come through. And Emodi goes in for the push. He just doesn't care. He doesn't care about taking damage. But he's going to go down to the blue zone. One player left standing for KB. I believe he is healing up, as he's got 4 first aids. He's fully stimmed. It's going to be a heal battle between these two players. Roof against Danyar. Who has the survival of the fittest? Who's going to make those heals work off the most? It is going to be Frag Machines. They are going to take game 1, and they will grab the first chicken dinner.
I love heal fights. I just love it. It's so intense.
So good. I was just not expecting that kind of finish. Like, I was genuinely expecting to go back over to the fields of El Pozo, so it would be like a crazy open-ended finish. But this was, just as entertaining, if not more entertaining. As you pointed out, Frag Machines were kind of one of the last teams to kind of make their way into the final 2 or 3 circles. But, with the talent that they have when it comes to aggression and teamwork, I think that's where their strengths kind of, shined, in the sense of they were able to kind of frag through multiple players and multiple teams. Like, they wiped out SNAKEsquad that were predominantly inside that circle. And they really kind of knew that they had to take control. They couldn't be passive in the areas that they were in. And hey, look, credit where it's due, they made it work.
I mean, that last push did kind of throw me off. I was going to be like, no, that's going to be for KB. That player was just silent. He's healing off. But it did work out for Frag Team. That was incredible.
Frag Machines get the chicken dinner with 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 kills. Yeah, KB in second, getting 3, 5, 7, 9 kills. You had Fly Team in third, getting 4 kills off the back of it's Royd with that absolute clutch 1v3. The NASR Esports finishing 4th with 4 kills. You had SNAKEsquad finishing 5th with 3 kills. Not bad, but I do feel that SNAKEsquad probably could have taken a little bit more advantage of the fact that they were one of the first teams landing El Pozo, but it is what it is. Rather than 6, getting 6 kills. Yeah, Pavo in 7th, getting 3 kills. Getso Esports in 8th, getting 2 kills. You had the Spark Esports in 9th with 5 kills. You had ZX in 10th with 1 kill. You had the 963 in 11th with 0 kills. You had Super Power Esports in 12th with 0 kills. NAIX Congeals in 13th with 3 kills. You had the NH in 14th with 2 kills. You had Clown in 15th with 0 kills. You had No Limits in 16th with 2 kills. You gotta say, that was just an absolute fantastic game 1. That was absolutely fantastic.
That was really intense, especially for that surprise, the hard shifts on a puzzle. I did not expect that, but it did provide for really incredible fights. Also, I really want to say SNAKEsquad. I think they were a lot more focused on the teams that were inside the building. I think there was a Fly Team and another team that was outside the building going off in that fight. They were way too focused on the teams that were already in that fight to not notice Frag right outside the circle trying to come in and get in those 3 kills. But it was incredible for the Frag Team, yeah.
That is true indeed. So we do have the information for game 2. I'm going to be going on a bit of a break, but we will be back on your screens for game 2. It's going to be on Sanhok in about 5 minutes, so don't go away. See you guys in a bit. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for game 2 of the SNAKEsquad Christmas event with myself, ImPERium, and with my awesome co-caster, Sufi. And, of course, a fantastic game 1 that we saw, but game 2, different map, completely different map. Sanhok, what's your kind of thoughts and expectations, Sufi?
Honestly, I love Sanhok. The thing that I love about Sanhok the most is that there's really no surprises in shifts in terms of the face. So that kind of like weight is lifted off the player's shoulders. They are going to be on foot. You don't really have to look for vehicles or have that, kind of preparation in terms of phases. So I love Sanhok, to be honest. All the fights are incredible. And the fast phases make up for, the early fights that are expected in Sanhok as well. Yeah.
Just before we go into the second game in Sanhok, we have started, but just to give you an idea of the points scored in this first game, Frag Machines have 31, Kurdish Boy Sqaud have 23, Fly Team have 14, and NASR Esports have 11. That's your top 4 for now. Now I will quickly switch on over to the in-game overlay and get this show on the road. Now, luckily, good thing is that you are in the room for this game too, so you can, of course, cleanly in your own way talk about what is going on in this game and how these teams are rotating.
Yes. So, do you really comment about the playing path in Sanhok?
Not really, to be fair.
Really, yeah, that's what I do as well. I feel like it's a small map. Anyone can be anywhere, and now we've got Team 18, which is going to be the Gesto squad, landing with Team 4. I think they're going for Paradise, if I'm not mistaken, or to the right of Paradise right now. But there is going to be a cluster right over there. There's also the Power squad. We've got them at Camp Charlie. The Riot squad is kind of opening up the kill feed for today as well.
Yeah, we do see that coming down between these squads, both landing in Camp Charlie. We're gonna see who's gonna get the first proper blow. We do see one of the Pavo players go down, as you correctly pointed out, the hands of Rad. So the body advantage initially goes over to Rad, but in this Camp Charlie train, you can easily get knocked a 6 out of nowhere at times. It's going to be a nice push coming out from Power Esports on one side of the building, but the DBS is just going to come in and blow the head off one of the players of Rad. It was a lovely, clean overall 3-man push by Pavo. It's exactly what you need to do, in my opinion. In this kind of Camp Charlie area, you really have to go full man swinging, but Haloa is going to get taken down by Sidat off the back of a juicy grenade being thrown up. Emperor is on the outside. The Camp Charlie walls away from his teammate. A knockdown did come out onto Desha, so it was a lovely trade. At the end of the day, though, the revive is going to be coming out onto Haloa. Duhap has to try and do something from a bit of a flank angle in this Camp Charlie train and try and provide that level of suppression. But once again, Solossi with the DBS. Like, is there really a better early game gun than the DBS at the moment?
He's really got no mercy at all. He's got that gun and just... How many players down right now? 2 players down from the team. The revive is going to be right now on the player Desha. There's Team 8, I expected that, but I thought they were gonna be... I thought they would be a lot further, but no, there they are.
Hey, they heard the shots, they saw the opportunity of a third party, and hey, they made it work, and that's going to be the end of Rad, the first team to go out in this game. But now it's going to be up to Pavo to focus a little bit towards No Limits while trying to loot up this area and get away. Because if you look at No Limits, they do have Biscay kind of flanking on the other side, outside Camp Charlie. So what he can do is he can wait for Pavo to disengage and catch out, hopefully, the members of Pavo one by one and provide that kind of opening for an engagement onto Pavo and get that squad wipe. And look, you know, while we're waiting for that to happen, Phase 1 did show up. It is predominantly on the mainland, but it does hover around each island. What kind of areas of this circle do you think teams should be looking to focus towards?
I think they should be focused towards this center. We don't really have anywhere right now at boot camp, which hot drops aren't really, you know, and events and things like that aren't really expected. But most games that I've casted that are in Sanhok, there's at least one team in boot camp, and there's none right now.
It is
Painan as well.
definitely a bit of a surprise. Yeah, nobody went in Painan. I do like the fact that there wasn't a bit of a nice spread in terms of NASR Esports on the east, right? And what is happening is exactly what I predicted. Pavo tried to disengage away from Camp Charlie, and Biscay did exactly what he needed to do and caught out Celosity. It was only one player, but Holowa is still not away from the actual compound. He's on the side of the wall inside the Camp Charlie. It was Emperor that managed to kind of get away. But if he's on his own, it's not going to be easy for him. Frag machines are making their way in from the Sami area. But yeah, that's interesting. Who do you want to highlight so far in this game? Any kind of rotations or teams you want to pan on over to?
I think NASR team is gonna have a really nice, clean entrance into the first phase. Although distances in Sanhok, you know, you can't really see someone is further away from the other. Fight starts and then there's a third party, and the whole thing is just blown out. So I don't really know. Everyone seems to be taking their parts at the edges of these circles, so I can't really predict that.
And teams are somewhat taking their time. Power Esports dropped in Hatting, moving their way across to the mainland from that Bridgewater area. SNAKEsquad moving in from the northwest island down to the southwest island. They do have the side of Clown Esports close by. A couple of shots being thrown out by both teams. Clown have 2 players down to low health. The SNAKEsquad definitely seems to be aware of a team close by to them. Alirov.
2 players of the Clown Squad really down on health, and No Help tried to cross the waters, but SNAKEsquad got them a lot earlier.
I thought that was a very successful rotation across the river by SNAKEsquad. In a lot of other situations, they would potentially get caught out, but between them, you know, being quick to take some shots on the Clown Squad and maybe Clown Esports being a bit passive on that area, you know, they allowed SNAKEsquad to make their way across. It could by Clown Esports in the neck later on in the game, but we'll have to wait and see. Phase 2 did send off quite nicely. It's still majority in the mainland, so for now, no crazy shifts towards the river, but we know what Sanhok can give us in terms of surprises, so have no doubt that it could easily go heavily either on the northwest or the southwest area of this map so far. 963 did rotate into Paradise Resort from the Tapmock area. Now, for me, I don't know about you, Sufi, but for me, I'm not a fan of kind of being in Paradise Resort past phase 2, because it's the kind of area where you're kind of isolated and locked into that compound where you're not really able to get a lot of information on teams around you, so you only really commit at the start or at the finish if the circle stays in Paradise. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I agree on that, especially if there's a team that is going to be to push into Paradise. Not even they can't really get enough view of teams that are around them, let alone teams that are inside Paradise. It's a very tricky a place. Yeah.
NASR Esports talked about them having a clean rotation. Indeed, that's been the case. One of the Getso players, I believe, is that the last Getso player? It is indeed. It is the last Getso player. I don't know exactly what happened to the rest of the team, but he's the last player up, Rago. Gonna be looking for sneaky knock, but he does have to be very careful around this ban train. He can't take any wild shots without gauging where all of the NASR players are. He would have heard some of the footsteps, so I do respect the fact that Rago didn't go for those shots onto any of the NASR players.
Yeah, I don't think he has a chance, even though they're not. I don't think they're aware of him being in this area, but it is still very dangerous for him to start shooting, even if he's certain that it's going to be a certain kill for him.
Frag machines did make their way into Painan. No Limits coming from the Camp Charity area. Came in a little bit late down the hill of Painan, which I definitely think is a weird rotation anyway. Like, to me, like, I don't even like the fact that Frag Machines made their way into Painan, but at least they kind of did it early, so to speak. So, you know, fair play. Whereas No Limits, there's no reason for them to have to go into Painan. They could easily have opted to go by the cave area and then into the circle from the mainland. So definitely a little bit of a weird rotation in my eyes for No Limits. And they got one player caught out because of it. Biscuit at least able to take down one of the players of Frag Machines. Freak is further up on the hill. And with his teammate Roof, but Roof is actually wrapping around, so maybe just looking to secure a position inside the circle while the rest of his team do look to fight up against No Limits. Moving on in, we have Power Esports going up against the Spark Esports, with the Spark Esports down to 2 players off the back of losing Welly, so Van Damme and Carry trying to hold on. Now, they can look to edge of circle camp Superpower, but they have to make their way into the circle themselves first. And with the side of the zombies already in there, the zombies could be looking to take a couple of shots onto the Spark Esports as well.
I think they're just keeping that edge of the circle. We've got the zombies. They're waiting on 2 teams that are going to be entering the circle from that area that zombies are looking into. We've got shots already.
Nice reactive shots coming out from Basil. And over. No real knockdown, but it's a lovely clapback from Van Damme. The last player, or one of the last 2 players of the Spark Esports, really didn't get caught out. It was a quick response from Carry to throw out some smokes by the side of that road, and that's allowed time for the Spark Esports to make their way into the compound. Yeah, of course, you know, they're going to know where each other are, but at the end of the day, the Spark Esports reacted quite well. And they're going to look to stay in the edge of the circle.
Is a player that is known for his fast reaction. I forget which team he was on.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, before this one, but he I mean, in terms of reactions, he is very fast.
Well, he's certainly showing it here right now. It's up to him and Carry to carry things up. But Carry's going to get knocked out by Bree. Maybe if he can crawl over to his teammate Van Damme in time, that revive could come through. Otherwise, it's going to be Van Damme left on his own. And you know what? He's going to have to pull out a Jean-Claude Van Damme in this Sanhok map if he's going to pull out a result on his own. And indeed, that's going to be the case. We'll have to wait and see. Again, the good thing is that at least he's inside the circle. Now, I do see the 963. They sent 2 players out of Paradise Resort after hearing those shots. So the zombies will have to be aware of that. And in amongst the kerfuffle, Van Damme could find a way through all this craziness. But we'll have to wait and find out. As all the rest of the teams are making their way into the circle off the back of this blue zone, closing in on phase 3, and phase 4 is going to be popping up.
Now we got Team KB, Team 14. Already has a view on Team Fly, that is Team 10. They both are entering the circle from the same edge. We've got the player Zombie. Yep. They're kind of hesitant on these shots, which I don't
Oh,
understand. There we go.
it's like I always love that you know you look to kind of make a point, and just as you make that point, the opposite happens. It's like, okay, cool,
Always
thanks
happens.
guys, thanks.
That always happens.
But you're right, they were actually, I wouldn't say that they were hesitant, to be honest. I actually think it was quite intelligent that they weren't like instantly taking the shots, because, you know, maybe they weren't happy with the information they had or didn't have. And because they were inside the circle, they probably didn't feel they needed to take shots. Now, as the circle does shrink up and go down south, they are still in the circle. So now I would recommend they look to be proactive on any kind of engagement, because at the end of the day, the only thing that's going to happen is more teams are going to cloud around them from the west, east, and northern side of this phase 4 circle. So really, I do worry about KB if they aren't controlling enough and they don't look to take those shots early enough.
Yeah, we've got the player Hamoudi from Frag. He's taking a lot of shots right now. I think it's from Pavel players that are taking a high position in this area.
Pavo down to 2. Aloha and Emperor hold on for dear life. They are inside the circle. SNAKEsquad did rotate on towards boot camp, but Alaraf is going to go down, so it's just Serious and Leader left standing, and disengaging away from boot camp is incredibly difficult late game. NASR Esports going to have Super Power Esports closing in on them. Great grenades are being fired out, even though NASR Esports have the protection of the compound. They're going to be surrounded by full squad. It's not going to be too easy. A lovely 2-2 split coming out. Even though slow mode is knocked down, Iraqi should look to be able to get that revive. Some nice defensive smokes being thrown out by Superpower so they can make their way out from the open in towards these buildings on the edge of the circle, while giving time for Iraqi to get the revive on the slow-mo. But Mohammed from NASR Esports gets in first initial knock on the Diesel. Now he's going to full send it in. He's going to take a little bit of a risk. He's going to find the knockdown onto reaction, but going to be left with a sliver of health. Slow mode. I don't think he's going to survive. He's going to go down. And it's going to be Iraqi left standing for Superpower, firing amongst the smokes. Staying behind a tree. Those smokes are going to disperse. It's a 1v1. Pre-fire shots from Muho. And on the blue, he gets the shot. He gets the final blow. And that's going to be, once again, NASR Esports surviving in this Sanhok game.
That was really nice. That knockdown with the frag grenade, that was very satisfying to watch.
Knew he had the advantage. He didn't take it for granted.
We've got zombies. They're in a really close fight with 963. Overs trying really hard to say and survive, but they're on really low health. Heavy bandages, and yeah, that is going to be difficult.
Yeah, and even Rio only has 4 bandages as well. Yeah, okay, he's a lot healthier in health, but at the end of the day, with multiple teams around him, the health can quickly disperse. And just as I say that, Bree's going to get chunked down to below half health by the 963. Up on the side of this hill, it becomes increasingly difficult to hide and stay covered on, and from the off angle, it is going to be NAIX Congenials. No, not NAIX Congenials. It is going to be, sorry, the one and only Team 5, which is NASR Esports, that comes in to get that third party onto a second last player. For zombies, it's going to be over left standing.
Zombies over is really, I mean, the players really wanted him.
Yeah, but when you're left on your own, you are just so afraid of taking those shots. Oh my god.
I mean, there isn't even enough grass to
I know. How is all Plaza has to do is turn around. But see, they're focused on NASR Esports, right? So I kind of get that for 963. You know, you do have to be aware of snakes in grass. Sanhok is like that. But at the end of the day, Yeah, they're focused on NASR Esports, and NASR Esports is going to lose Khaled, so at least that's kind of somewhat paying off. As Plaza yet to get punished by the final player, Zombies. With the Blue Zone closing in on phase 6, they do have to move in. So the 963 are going to look now to up to move away from this fight, and he still hasn't spotted the last player, Zombies, and he still hasn't been punished. Oh my god.
Finally.
Oh, now the shots are going to come through. Now, Over finds a knock. He finds a kill. He is going to get taken out, but you know what? He picks up the kill along the way. Patience, young Padawan, and it will come to your benefit, and that's exactly what has happened, even though he did go down in the end. NH are going to be staying inside this circle, inside this game for now, but they are getting taken out, ticked off one by one. Next, Congenial is going to go down to the Blue Zone, where we have 4 teams suddenly left standing. NASR Esports, Pavo, the 963, and NH. NH have just 1 player left standing. Their other 3 players are knocked down. Monster is across the road, so he's most likely not going to get touched upon. Your friend is going to find 2-door for the revive. Agra is going to go down in the Blue Zone. That's going to be end of him. And 963, they have 3 players up, but they are not, and I repeat, they are not inside the circle.
Yeah, I think we've got a duo from the team NH. It just doesn't seem where they go. That's the finish. It just doesn't seem like the team 963 is going to be safe when they come into the circle, unless they take a really good coverage with their aim. I mean, we've got 3 players. If if every player had their eyes on a certain area, then that could go well for them.
Yeah, you can see Avalon is trying to look for some kind of off-flank angle. But again, he's out in the open in front of him, so he kind of can't really go there. Does make his way into the circle. The next phase of phase 8 goes in the favor of NH. They are just sitting, waiting for the final players in 9-6. So you do have to say that they're still the last player of NASR Esports trying to heal up inside the Blue Zone. This is going to be his last first aid, and then he's going to have to try and make a run for it. As the 963 and NH going to continue to fight against each other.
That is the second time for the NASR player Muhammad to be on his own in the 8th circle.
You know what? He's helping to grab a hell of a lot of placement points for his side and finish the 3rd once again. Now the final 2 teams, 3 versus 2. The body advantage goes over to 963, but the positional advantage goes over to NH, but not before a grenade goes a-flying. And NH are down to just 1 player, 3v1, 2-door left on his own. He's going to look to chuck up a Molotov to try and suppress the members of 963, but I think it was his own Molotov that spread the Molotov fire into the shack and took himself down. That was definitely unintentional, but it did deny a point away from the 963. But either way, the 963 do pick up the chicken dinner in Sanhok.
That is incredible. I mean, it's either a friendly fire or a point for the enemy, and I would definitely choose friendly fire.
Yeah, again, I don't think it was intentional, but
yeah.
I don't know if you kind of, I know it was a couple of months back, but the last patch, PUBG Mobile patch, it did increase the spread of Molotovs, right? And sometimes you might forget that it does react to wood. So if you throw it into a wooden building, a wooden shack, the fire is going to spread a little bit more. And I think that's what was that's what the case was with the last player of NH. Either way, a valiant effort nonetheless for the NH2 grab 2nd place, 3 kills for their side. 963, as you said, grabbing the chicken dinner with 8 kills. NASR Esports in 3rd, grabbing 4 kills. Very consistent for NASR Esports across the first 2 games. Pavo getting 4th with 3 kills. NAIX Congenials getting 5th with 6 kills. Fly Team in 6th getting 5, 6, 7 kills. Getso in 7th getting 1 kill. Zombies in 8th getting 3 kills. Clown Esports getting 9th with 2 kills. Frag Machines in 10th with 6 kills. KB in 11th with 0 kills. SNAKEsquad in 12th with 0 kills. Superpower Esports in 13th with 2 kills. The Spark Esports in 14th with 0 kills. No Limits in 15th with 4 kills. And Rad in 16th with 1 kill. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Actually, I'm putting on the wrong transition, but yeah, that was a pretty strong Sanhok game.
It really was, especially in the last two zones. The advantage was for the NH team in terms of their place into the safe zone. But as I said, 963, they took advantage of them being 3v2. They went for it. That nade was incredible, and it gave them just the last boost so they could push in. Although they didn't take the last player, they took himself, but it was a really good game for the 963 team.
Yeah, and you know, I think you brought up a really good point, and it's such an understated, you know, situation, or such an understated move that was made. But you know, the 963, they didn't have the circle; they had to move in. So throwing that grenade, even though they didn't throw a load, but throwing that grenade and those grenades, not only was it going to suppress NH from in any way, you know, catching out 963, but even grabbing that knock, it was the perfectly golden opportunity. And even though they knew they had the body advantage, they didn't presume they were going to make their way into the circle, right? They did throw those grenades to secure that first place, and it was a really a good finish from the 963.
Yeah, that was a really incredible Sanhok game.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So we are going to go for a bit of a break before the third game. We're heading over to Vikendi for game 3. And myself and Sufi will be back on your juicy screens in all of about 7 minutes. ladies and gentlemen, to the SNAKEsquad Christmas event $300 tournament. It's the finals. My name is ImPERium, and I'm joined by Sufi, as always, for Game 3. And we're heading over to Vikendi. Of course, a snowy terrain of Vikendi. Lots of compounds that are to play around. And what's your thoughts on this map? Are you a fan of it, Sufi? Do you like it? Do you hate it?
I love Vikendi. I feel like it's the ultimate test.
Really?
You know, I feel like Vikendi is the most difficult map. I don't know if that's because I suck at playing.
Okay,
or,
okay.
Or is it because it really is? I feel like it's the ultimate test for players.
Okay. I can definitely respect that. I can definitely respect that. I will give you guys the scores, the top 8 scores from the last game in Sanhok. You can see, of course, 963 top in the tables, getting 20 points for the chicken dinner, 8 kill points, 28 in total. Team NH in second place with 18 total points. NASR Esports in third with 14. And I'll also show you guys the first game scores as well, just to give you guys a little bit of an idea on who might be more consistent, who might be less consistent. Game 1, of course, was won by Frag Machines, got 31 points for themselves. Kurdish Boy Sqaud in second, getting 23. Fly Team in third, getting 14 points. And, you know, like we kind of mentioned, NASR Esports, top 4 both games in a row. That's going to really help them in the overall standings.
Yeah, and I feel like that's thanks to Hamed. He really, you know, I feel like he's the one that took his team to that high up rank, even though they all weren't able to engage in fights that were in the last last 2 games.
You're into the Vikendi game. That is a very, that's probably the most central playing path you could get right.
It's almost perfect.
Like, that's so unbelievably. Oh god damn it! That's like, talk about like split down the middle. Of course, it's pretty good because it's gonna give like pretty much every team the ability to go to where they want to in terms of their drop spots. I'm not saying we're not gonna get hot drops, but at least it gives a lot easier access for pretty much all of these teams.
Yeah, I think so too. And I can't get over how symmetrical that is. That is going to give opportunity to players or teams to just they can spread out. They can basically go anywhere on this map right now.
Definitely, indeed. NASR going for a bit of a split between Villa and Tovar, spreading their wings quite nicely. Getso Esports going to move their way towards Krish's. It seems like we might have 2 teams between Coal Mine and Zabava. NAIX Congenial's probably going more towards Zabava, and then you have this side of KB moving on up 14, and that is Kurdish Boy Sqaud moving towards Coal Mine. So it is going to be a little bit of a battle in Zabava between NH and NAIX Congenials.
That hard shift, it just did not care. It did not care.
Oh baby, it's like, you know, it's kind of like the PUBG Mobile gods tease us with a clean playing path, but the circle's just like, nah, you're not having it easy, guys. You're not having it easy. Oh, hello darkness, my old friend. As NH and NAIX Congenials trade, Nox is Animin from NAIX Congenials going to be the first player down, and then Tudor got knocked down from NH. Kvik and Jackie together. Either side of the building. Then Norfen is looking to stave off pressure from the third remaining player, NAIX Congenials. Nice shots for NAIX to knock down Viagra. Tudor is yet to be confirmed, so can in theory be revived up, but of course the members of NH do have to cross the road to get there.
They do. Well, let me just check the position of that player. I feel like the 14. No, they're back in that region of the city again, but it looked like they were going to cross the road, which is, I mean, he's really low. I don't think they're going to be able to revive him. Monster's trying to go for it, but is also being really careful from Jackie on the other side.
I think he's more just maybe trying to get a little bit of information before attempting it. What I do like, although I know it's a bit of a risk for Vitamin, is that he's looking to kind of flank around on the high ground overlooking this city. He's on his own. He's got very little in terms of no helmet, no vest. So the risk is that if he's you know, as light as a feather in the sense of he doesn't have much protecting him, but at least he's able to give a little bit of information for Jackie and Kvik to deal with. And is that a little bit of a third party potential from Pavo?
So I was spectating this player, and it doesn't seem like he knows that these two teams are in this region. He kind of took a look with his holographic sight on the city and then just went straight for it.
Hey, okay.
I don't really know what's going on here.
I think it's because we haven't really heard too much in the way of shots between both these teams for a good minute and a half. So that's understandable by why Spavo might not have too much of an idea of this fight going on. But giving a little bit of an overview, there's also a couple of squads between Hot Springs and Cantor. That's No Limits and SNAKEsquad. Whoever does win out on this battle will have a very easy entry point into the Phase 1 circle. So I think it's a relatively important fight for both of these teams.
That is right. I can see Snake Leader is starting with the shots on one of the players on No Limits. We've got El Arraf. He's in a really tricky position. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to make it, if there's like any shots from No Limits player onto Al Arraf, he's going to be I mean, that's really dangerous, especially because I don't think, well, there you go. I think he's gonna get the first knock on a No Limits player, which is Bisky.
Well, he's
trying his best. There's throwables in this fight as well.
Best indeed. Karma fight series
knock, yeah. There's his first knock, and nade onto Snake player Sirius. The revive is going to be, well, no, I was gonna say it's going to be easy, but there's a push from No Limits players right onto the building that they knocked the first player in.
Reek sending inside. Gonna be going upstairs. Throw Molotov. Like I said, it does spread a little bit more heavily on the wood. They have a strong idea of where they are, but it seems like Ahmad is gonna survive it for now. He's not quite getting burned too crisp. He did manage to survive that. All the while, Bisk is able to get a knock onto Sirius once again. So it's going to be Hamad on his own. Looking for the pre-fire shots. He has to switch over to PP Bison, but he doesn't get the opportunity. All the while, Leader is on the roof on his own. Goes Al-Raf.
Provide the coverage, but I don't think there's a way. Al-Raf is trying his best as well. He's got no helmet.
Oh, Bisk. Bisk got the better of him, my friend, and now it's up to Leader on his own. He should look to just get the hell out of there if he can. There is plenty of space that he can disengage towards. He can head towards kind of the edge of Hot Springs. I'm not saying he's going to, survive for the whole game, but at least for the next couple of minutes, he should be able to move away from there. As I said, it's going to be an easy entry point for No Limits to move into the circle that way. Superpower went on the bridge of Podvalsto, and looking at this Phase 1, Sufi, what kind of areas do you think are going to be pretty important and valuable for teams to push themselves towards?
I think cement factory is going to be where players are going to try to get in early on. We've got two teams there already, NASR and Superpower. But I do want to comment on what's going on between NH and number 4. They are very outside of the circle right now, but there's going to be a potential fight right there.
Fight still going on between these two teams. They look to just render in. Jackie's outside the building. He's by the side of the wall. He just prone down just in time. Viagra might be able to find the shots. See Norfriend gonna look to go upstairs to the highest floor, trying to find the relevant angles onto the members of NAIX Congenials.
Jackie had a really nice reaction right here. He's trying to spare himself some time to heal up, even though he doesn't have enough heal, and the zone is already passing these two players right now. So, I mean, a fight in this area is not beneficial for either teams.
That's what I was thinking. I don't think I could have said that better myself. Like, I can't help but think that no team wins in this situation because none of them have been able to loot up. They're both using kind of utility and meds. And whoever wins is going to really have a limited amount to loot up on the opposing side, right? And they're wasting time moving in onto phase 2. But either way, Stubborn is the teams of PUBG Mobile. Either way, NAIX Congenial is able to pick off a member of NH. And now we might see a squad right come through as time's ticking down on both these teams. I know it's only phase 1, so the tick damage isn't heavy. But position inside the circle is going to continue to be lost on both sides. As Jackie gets a clean drop shot onto Viagra. Now it's just Norfriend left standing. I think they know where he is. The last hope for NH to survive and strive inside this Vikendi game. He looks to try and heal up with the bandages. The few bandages that he has left standing still has a first aid. But now the players of NAIX Congenials are going to look to use that man advantage to their power. Norfriend gets one knock. He's going to get another knock.
That is a double knock.
By one. Knocked out of the park. And that's the last player. Closes his door. Norfriend going to look for the shot. But it is going to be Jackie that clutches things up for the side of NAIX Congenials. As he does look to get the revive off onto both of his teammates. He's also going to have to try and heal up himself. He does have one first aid that he's going to be able to use, as the rest of the players do look to try and heal themselves up as well. Now, a few teams inside the center of the circle. That's Clown Esports, KB, and Fly Team.
That double knock was really nice, but he had a lot of trust in that door. He shut it like it was sealed.
Hey man, you made it work. Super Power Esports and NASR. You talked about this earlier on, and both teams have knocked each other down left, right, and center. Slow-mo from up above is definitely providing a lot of sidelines. Reaction is knocked down. Iraqi is pretty much on his own. Wadia going in on the open. Pre-fire shots. Vehicle's gonna go down to crisp. Iraqi's on a sliver of health. Now Wadia out in the open. He's taking no prisoners. He's taking no shit. And indeed, that's gonna work. He's gonna get the knockdown onto Iraqi. Where is slow-mo? You gotta be able to react. You gotta realize that Wadia's low on health. Grenade is going to go down. Will that be a Kobe? Will that connect? Not quite. But now he comes in across the road. Wadia is going to be up to 75% health. Pre-fire shots. Drop shot comes through from slow mode across the road. Slow on health. The drop shot's going to come through. But it is going to be Wadia. It is going to be NASR Esports that survives in this game. And once they get the revives off, they're going to be up as a 3-man team.
That gun switch was kind of slow. I think that's what made him lose this fight, even though it was super close. It was really close.
Was indeed. And as we pan on over to another fight straight away between the side of Getso Esports and Kurdish Boy Sqaud, it is just Schofield and Zombie that's left standing. They did get knocked down onto Kyosu, but at the end of the day, Getso still have the man advantage. The thing is, do Getso know that it's just 2 players up for the side of Kurdish Boy Sqaud? Have Kurdish Boy Sqaud been making enough noise around this area, around this compound, where they have made Getso feel like there's more than 2 players up? That is the thing. But either way, the revive's being pulled off onto Kyosu and Getso, and back up as a full squad.
Without the Gesso team, I think I'm just trying to see if there's going to be an an interference from the clown squad, but it seems like they're a really good distance, and they're into the zone already, so I don't think they really need to engage in this fight that is already going on between Jetso and or Getso and KT.
Goldfield. Oh, no, no. Oh, no. Oh, he gets kind of caught out on the side of the building. Lovely suppression coming out from the side of Getso. But Koso's going to get knocked down. Zombie, as I look to try and play it off. He's going to get down, and that's going to be the end of this side of Kurdish Boy Sqaud. I do an absolutely terrible job of playing around that camera, so sorry about that. Either way, Getso will end up surviving as a full squad, and we haven't really talked about these circles, but it has predominantly stayed for the first 3 phases with 50% water.
Yeah, I mean, if it closes up there, then that's just too bad. But it is shifting in the same kind of pattern, so you don't really know how to expect that. I don't know how to predict that. If it is in the water, then I'm shutting off. I'm done.
Hey, it could end on one of those tiny islands to the northeast side of the circle. Just saying. You know, stranger things have happened.
Yeah, I mean, that is still really bad. I think it's better ending up in the water than in those islands, to be honest.
True. We did see a few teams up to play for that coastal line position, looking at No Limits, the Spark Esports, along with even the side of Fly team. But No Limits seem to be making their way towards the Spark Esports. It's an open, rocky terrain. It's tricky to play around. There's No Limits. They're going to send 3 players forward. Spark Esports have 2 players covering. And then with Boys further back. But nice knockdown by Welly. It's going to be traded up. Van Damme's trying to come in, but he's going to get knocked down. And that's going to be up to Boar from the Spark Esports. The last player up, if he can chuck another grenade towards the members of No Limits. But he's going to have to go downhill. That's a little bit of a desperation grenade. And it puts himself down to about 75% health as he looks to respond, playing around on the low ground. But he has nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and No Limits know that they have the number of the Spark Esports, and that is going to be it. The Spark Esports go down. Nice proactive play for No Limits, because at the end of the day, in theory, they didn't have to take that fight, but I think they recognized that maybe the Spark Esports were just exposed a little bit too much, and No Limits, credit where it's due, got the job done.
Yeah, I think they were also going for this high ground. They thought that they would fight. I mean, this fight wasn't only for the kills, it was only for this great position that was going to enable them to have a great view over the teams that are going to circle right now.
Gives them a lot more control inside this phase 3, and it makes it easier for them to react should phase 4 shift away from their position. We do see Zombies and Pavo fighting up on the northern side, and I think that's going to be the end of Pavo overall, and Zombies are going to keep on going as a full squad once they get that revive off. A little bit of a feels bad man for Pavo. Clown Esports, Getso, and NASR Esports all on the western side of this circle. The good thing is that they are all inside this phase 4, but with the blue zone closing in, phase 5 could easily stay shifting on the coastal line.
I am just as nervous as the players right now. I really don't want it to go there. I've seen it once, I don't want to see it again.
Oh my lord, Zombies. Man, like, it's so tricky. Like, it is so tricky to kind of predict these circle shifts. That's why you kind of need to try to be one step ahead, but sometimes when you're one step ahead, you can get kind of burnt just as heavily. The biggest team that are probably going to benefit either way from the circle shift is Frag Machines, but it does center up quite nicely. It is away from the majority of the players that are on the western side, and it does stay in favor of Fly team and No Limits, but with them being closer to the eastern edge, they will have to think about this next circle when the blue zone starts closing in.
At least it's not in the water. I mean, anything else is fine. Anything else is manageable.
Oh, man. Getso, they send 2 players into one of the compounds that are free inside this phase 5, which means that they have 1 player now. I believe it's, yeah, they have all 3 players inside this compound, so they are looking to occupy this area. NASR Esports have a little bit of a free reign into their compound down the hill, but at the end of the day, they can't be too sure. That's why Wadia did do a little bit of scouting for his side, as NAIX and Zombies are going to look to trade on the outskirts of this phase 5 circle. It's going to be a knock either side. But NAIX Congenials, they're definitely a little bit more pinched and suppressed, in my opinion. Both teams have gotten their revives off, try and get the heals off, but Lover's going to knock down Vitamin, not Lover, sorry, Over. And now it's going to be up the stairs. Another knockdown by Over. Knock him out of the park. Bat him out of the play. That's a nice protection coming out. And now it's just going to be Kivik left on his own. And it's going to be the end of him. And Jackie is outside the circle, or outside this compound. He's going to get knocked down onto Over. Blue zone is going to be closing in. He's going to try and play on the hovering around the edge so he doesn't take that blue zone damage. And maybe he can circle gatekeep Desire Zombies. But what he doesn't realize is that Zombies have done the same thing earlier on. The drop shot comes through. And Jackie is going to try to confirm the kill. But that isn't going to be the case. I believe that member of Zombies will end up going down to the blue zone. But either way, Zombies will survive up and keep on going as a 2-man team. Oh, okay. So Clown Esports went for a really kind of wild rotation on the eastern coastal line. And they have not benefited from it.
The last player from a Riot team, he took a really insane rotation, and now he's in the waters. He's just basically surprising everyone that is coming near to the coast. He took one of Clown players down, but I think No Limits have located him, and that is going to be really difficult for him. He's got smoke. He's trying to get inside the circle, but I feel like that's just almost impossible.
It is kind of almost impossible. The only thing he can do is just kind of play on the blue zone closing in, and hopefully nobody looks behind. That's the biggest thing he can kind of hope for. Leader, the last player, SNAKEsquad, being one with the bush inside the circle on the southern edge. And hey, look, you know, he's surviving and striving inside this game. Ghetto now pushing in on towards the last players of Zombie. I believe they did get a knockdown, confirm that kill. So now it's just Basil left standing for Zombies as he's outside the circle, smoke being thrown out from himself. Maybe cook up a grenade, nose changer from low to high balling. And he's gonna look to throw that out. And another one as he takes a little bit of damage. He's protected by the rock for now, but the blue zone's closing in on this phase 6, so he's gonna have to run, rabbit, run in the next couple of seconds. As Getzo has his number overall. Lovely smokes being thrown out by Getzo to protect and provide a little bit more movement and rotation for their position inside the circle. You do have the members of Fly Team getting close on the northeastern side. Frag machines are definitely punishing a number of these teams inside the center of this phase 6, realizing that if they get rid of these bodies earlier on, it makes it a lot easier coming into the very late stages of this game. The circle shifts up north. Frag machines are still inside the circle, but they do have both NASR Esports, No Limits, and the last remaining player, SNAKEsquad, behind them.
They're gonna have to take this player down very early on. The pressure is going to be a lot from different directions. We've got NASR team from their right, kind of, and then No Limits are also closing in into the circle.
Yeah, we did see NASR Esports get a knockdown onto one of the players of Frag Machines. Now, Frag Machines did spray up some lovely shots onto Fly Team to the point where they might not have to worry so much about Fly Team so they can get that revive onto Roof. But credit where it's due to NASR Esports are reacting to that knockdown very effectively as a squad wiper N249 being held onto by Wadia. It's going to get a nice clean knockdown as Hamodi is also going to down. It's going to leave with Frag and Roof left standing, but Freak is going to go down, so Roof is going to be the last player up. The last hope for Frag Machines is NASR Esports are going to have to try and deal with No Limits. Once they can get the squad wipe, that could be the case, but until that happens, NASR Esports have to contend with No Limits pushing in. And what M249 onto Wadia does get the killing blow onto the last player of Frag Machines. Incredibly well executed engagement by NASR Esports where they do push in onto his compound, take down Frag Machines and only lose a player. No Limits tried to push in at the right time, but maybe it's just a little bit too late to make it work. Simple goes down. Grenades are...
An incredible nade from the player Wadia. I think that's how you pronounce his name.
Yeah.
And we've also got an engagement from Fly players. They're still into the circle, which is surprising. I thought they were really further away, but circle's closing in right now, and no team is inside the circle. Wow.
Oh, baby. That's what I love to see. A circle that shifts away from all of these players. Credit to Sadat from Rad. He's been able to stay inside this game. Same with leader SNAKEsquad. He's avoided all the craziness that's happened inside this compound. No Limits in NASR Esports will have to start moving into the next 20 seconds. Bisk finds leader. That's going to be the end of SNAKEsquad. Eliminated a potential thorn on the side for No Limits. The benefit for No Limits is that they have that full squad up, so they can send maybe a couple of players closer to the edge of this phase 8 circle. At the end of the day, all that is doing is allowing Fly Team to move down in to the edge of the circle. Now, they're uphill, so they don't have much to give them protection. That's why they've thrown out the smokes. That's why they are sending players up, and they might even look to third party this from a distance.
I feel like Fly Team should have taken advantage of all the craziness that is happening between NASR and No Limits and just took their time to enter the circle, because right now, I mean, they could be exposed, but I feel like they could have taken this very nicely and quietly. But right now, they're going to have to engage in this fight.
Riva comes in, knocks down Karma. Was off the back of one of the Fly Team's players getting knocked down, but NASR Esports does him one player up. He's going to get taken out. Wadia is now left in his own. So that all the while is actually going to take advantage of all of these smokes playing on the edge of this circle. And he's going to stay inside this game by the edge of the wall, by the edge of this phase 8. But he gets caught out by Simple of No Limits. And that's going to be the end of them. 3 teams left up. But realistically, it's going to come down to the 2 teams of No Limits and Fly Team. Fly Team, credit where it's due to them. They've been able to get a couple of consistent results so far. But so either way, at the end of the day, this is another successful result for them. There's No Limits looking to claim their first chicken dinner of this SNAKEsquad event. Can they make it work? Couple of smokes, giving them a little bit of area of protection. It's phase 9. Phase 9 is closing in. It's the final circle. All the shots are going to come through. And it is going to be game 1 by No Limits.
That was amazing. Now, Fly were under a lot of pressure. There was a lot of knockdowns, revives. It was done very quickly, but still No Limits took the chicken dinner with an incredible number of kills as well. We've got Karma with 6 kills. That is incredible. Besky with 5. And they did such an amazing job, even though they were late to engage in the fights that were already happening between NASR and I forget which team that was in the fight with NASR team.
Yeah, and like, I do think that Fly Team probably could have, you mentioned it, they probably could have taken advantage of NASR Esports and No Limits fighting a little bit more aggressively, right? They would have heard the shots, shorty, and they could have sent one player kind of aggressively down the hill, even just to be a sacrificial lamb to gauge what kind of information or awareness No Limits had, right? But they didn't really do that, and then the circle shifted away, and yeah, okay, they did send those smoke walls out, but it was realistically a more proactive No Limits team. You know, you saw them earlier on take down the Spark Esports, pushing into, I think, phase 4, phase 5. You know, No Limits really kind of deserved that chicken dinner off the back of them grabbing it by the hands, if that makes sense. Whereas Fly Team, as much as they did well throughout the whole game, you know, in those final moments, they definitely could have taken that chicken dinner.
I agree. I definitely agree. There was a lot of pressure from No Limits, and that was well deserved.
No Limits taking the chicken dinner, getting 14 kills as well. Nothing wrong with that. Fly Team in second place, 3 kills. Again, consistent results for the side of Fly Team in these 3 games so far. NASR Esports, though. NASR Esports, 3 games, top 5. And this 3rd game as well, racking up 10 kills. Like, shorty, like, without us knowing the overall standings, that must have put them either on the top spot or within the top 3 without getting a chicken dinner.
And it's all done with the same scenario. It's just one player healing off, trying to be in the top 3. It's incredible.
Absolutely fantastic. Rad Esports as well, getting 4th with Sadat, just kind of staying alive in this game. Only 1 kill, but either way, good positional points. Same with SNAKEsquad, 0 kills, but leader just, you know, off the back of 3 of their players going down in the Hot Springs Cantor area. Did he benefit from the fact that that phase 1 circle was such an easy entry point as a 1-man player? Yeah, of course, but at the end of the day, for him to survive the whole game and get into 5th place for a side, that definitely required a lot of cojones, and, you know, he did a good job for that. Frag Machines in 6th place just got, you know, plundered into smithereens by NASR Esports. They controlled the majority of those circles, and they did, credit where it's due, get a good few kills with that, right? 325, 527, 8 kills. So it's not like they were passive in that area, but when you're in the center of the circle, there's at times only so much, you know, there's only so many teams you can kind of focus on, to the point where all it takes is a team like NASR, who did, you know, credit where it's due, recognize the opportunity and push in, and hey, Frag Machines end up getting taken out. 4 Zombies in 7th, getting 6, 7, 8, 9 kills for themselves in 7th. Decided Getso Esports in 8th with 4 kills. Clown Esports in 9th with 0. Next Congenials in 10th with 6 kills. Pavo in 11th with 0 kills. The Spark Esports in 12th with 0 kills. 963 in 13th with 0 kills. Kurdish Boy Sqaud in 14th with 0 kills. Super Power Esports in 15th with 1 kill. And NH in 16th with 1 kill. One thing that I noticed, and I don't know if you're used to seeing this in Vikendi, but a lot of teams in kind of the bottom 4, bottom 5 getting 0 kills, Sufi.
Yeah, I feel like that's because everyone was just spread out, and I don't think there were a lot of encounter. You know, players didn't really encounter each other when trying to get into the circle. It was kind of more easier rotations, and we only saw that intensity in the very late phases.
Yeah, definitely. It was just kind of, you know, the teams that went out early were just teams that were kind of pocket fights against each other, and weren't able to pick up any kills along the way. But either way, the next map is going to be the final match of the day. We are going over to the hollow grounds of Erangel, and we will be back on your screens in the next 4 minutes or so. Don't go away. Going to be a good one. Welcome back for the final time here at the SNAKEsquad Christmas event. We're going into game 4 on the hollow grounds of Erangel. My name is ImPERium, and I'm joined by the wonderful Sufi. How's your experience been of the game so far, Sufi?
Everything is going really great. A lot of unexpected events, I feel like. But I feel like with Erangel, it feels like home. Everyone is just, there isn't really much surprises. So yeah, I'm very excited to see what players are going to do in Erangel.
Definitely. Before, of course, we go into Erangel, we do have the scores for the last game that happened in Vikendi. It was won by No Limits, getting 14 kill points as well, so total of 34 for themselves. Fly Team getting second place with 3 kills is 18 points, but definitely for me, the standout has to be NASR Esports, another third place, 10 kills, 10 placement points, 20 in total. It's so good.
It really is, and it wasn't a case or scenario where the whole squad was okay, sorry.
Yeah.
It wasn't really a case where the whole squad was engaged in fights in the last phase. It was, I feel like with all games that NASR squad was, or NASR team was in, it was just the last player trying to heal off outside the circle, and that is incredible. That's when you play it smart, and I feel like that's what they did.
Definitely, and of course, just to give you the overall standings from the second game that we had in Sanhok, it was won by Frag Machines, followed by Kurdish Boy Sqaud. Fly Team once again getting a third place in the second game, so nothing be sniffed at consistency wise. And NASR in fourth, and then finally, before we make it into the last game, just to of course remind you guys that Frag Machines took Game 1 in Miramar, followed by the Kurdish Boy Sqaud, and once again Fly Team. So consistency all around for a couple of teams as we are in to the final game of the day. Sufi, take us through the playing path.
Okay, so the playing path is kind of a deviator towards the uprights kind of the map. I feel like in Erangel, everyone has similar strategies. I kind of feel like that. I mean, there is definitely a variety of planning from teams and team leaders, but in Erangel, it feels like there's just no way around early fights. So we can see a team, I feel like team 12, which is Frag Machines, are going to be landing with No Limits. Feels like they're going to Pochinki, which is a hotspot. As I said, I feel like in the first match, hotspots are kind of expected in the last match where teams don't have anything to lose. They need the kills, so they just go for the hot drops, and I feel like that's what's going on right here. Even though Frag team do have a good amount of points, and I don't feel like they need the hotspots right here, but we'll see. That's a very hot shift.
Yeah, phase 1 definitely hasn't complemented the playing path.
Yeah.
So to speak, it's a northwestern phase 1 compared to an eastern playing path. What I do find interesting is that nobody went to Milta off the back of the playing path. It was definitely, well within the area, but of course, maybe people presumed that somebody else would go there. Do you see NH going up against 963? Both teams dropped on the western side of Military Island, and they split drop as well, which is definitely very interesting. I'll shift on over to Plaza, who's in a little bit of a 1v1 against one of the players from Team NH, but they're across the road, so it'll be interesting to see if they've made their way into the same building / area as each other.
Yeah. We can see by the bridge there's a player from NH, Norfin. He is trying his best to take a view on the Pava players that are there in the same area as him. He's got the SLR. 3 times, trying his best to take down at least one player, or just lock his position in there
Yeah.
until he gets the backup. Yeah.
What the hell? So NH are just kind of taking 2 fights at once. Because I'm not gonna lie, because they're very similar, colors. I thought they were the same team for a sec. I didn't realize that was
Yeah.
2 players
know
of Pavo against Nuorfen kind of thing. But he is protected by
know.
the side of those rocks at least.
I didn't really notice him being there until I just started going through the screens of the NH players. To my surprise, he was there with the Pavo players.
Tudor also got a grenade knockdown onto a player of the 963 that was inside that building. And it's going to leave 963 with, I think, 1 player left standing, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's 2 players that are left standing that have made their way in towards that building. Made 2 against 1. Actually, no, 2 against 2 because Monster joined up with Tudor. It's the final 2 players for 963, and NH might look to disengage a little bit away from that. That's why they threw the smokes. Tudor jumps out the building and maybe looks to join up with his teammate Monster on the side of the compound. They do have a vehicle that they can look to disengage with, although that in itself does pose a risk.
I'm very intrigued about what is going on in Pochinki. There's no close potential fight right now. I'm just, as you're going through the other fights, I'm just trying to see what might happen in Pochinki. Other players have spread out very beautifully, so I don't think there's going to be any fights soon when it comes to other players. We've got KB there in Yasnaya. They're trying to, I feel like they're going to have a very smooth entrance into the safe zone, contrary to other players that are going to find it a little bit more difficult.
If you're NASR Esports, okay, do you go on the Eastern Bridge or the Western Bridge? Try to, obviously, we have the hindsight of knowing where other teams are, but for them, considering the playing path, what do you think they're going to do?
I feel like, well, obviously we have a lot more information than them. So my initial thought is going through what information that we have right now as we're seeing the screen. But depending on the playing path, I feel like the left side bridge is going to be a lot safer, which is surprisingly not.
Exactly, that's the thing. That's the thing. We're going, going to Eastern Bridge, but it would make sense that they would think a team has landed in Milta, maybe Farm. Therefore, crossing that Eastern Bridge is, in theory, and by the law of percentages, trickier. But at the end of the day, they're still going to have to thread with caution on their rotation out of the island and into the mainland.
I'm still trying to see if the fight in Pochinki is going to be escalating anytime soon, but there's still, we've got one of the No Limits players, Reeks, trying to take a high position. He's at the church. The player Raouf is going to be right in front of him. Hamoudi is also trying to reach out and have that view as well.
Oh, no. Oh, no, Hamoudi. Oh, he's caught out in the open. Oh, my lord. Hello, darkness. My old friend.
Oh. How did he not see? I thought Rolf was there because Reek was right in front of him. He was just trying to...
I don't think Rolf knows Reek was there. See.
And there was no reaction either.
Well... Sometimes, I'm going to kind of defend Frag Machines. Sometimes you just get so caught out, like, Now, on one hand, you could think that they should have thought another team was going to be close by, but none of them have made any noise, right? So...
They did see each other land, though.
Yeah. So are you going to be the harsh? Are you going to be the bad cop and I'll be the good cop and you're going to say that was a mistake by Frag Machines?
No, that is not my brand. Don't Don't turn that around on me.
Hey, you know, you insinuate it, so you know.
I mean, I mean, I'm just curious. How did that happen?
See, I would say that it was just one of those things that can happen. That's the way I'm looking at it. But I could also understand if you took a viewpoint of that shouldn't have happened based on the fact that they knew another team had dropped in Buchinki, which means you automatically have to tread with caution when you rotate into the open of that city area. So I can understand, but you're gonna be, you know, you don't want to take the bad cop stand. So I get it. I get it.
Yeah, and I won't take that stand. You know what? I understand
Yeah.
that. I mean, that shouldn't have happened, but it also can happen, so it's fine. It's okay.
It is what it is. So a few teams are rotating on the northern side of this river, which is, so to speak, to be expected. I do like the fact that the Spark Esports have rotated down to that river line compound. It's such a great compound to hold on to early on because you, of course, are set up for the circle shifting any side of the river early on. It does give you those building protection, and you do get a solid amount of information either side of the river.
That is true, but I don't think they have well, they do. I was just gonna say they don't have a lot of view, but I think they are aware of Jackie from the
Hmm?
Team 4 right now. How's that pronounced, by the way?
NAIX. NAIX.
NAIX. Okay, sorry.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I think he's trying to see if it's clear for his team to go through and take that same position, but I feel like TSK are aware of Jackie. He's aware as well. He's right now telling them that it's not clear, and I think they're gonna take another position.
British Boy Sqaud doing a great job of scouting out this compound. So Danyar getting a nice clean knockdown onto one of the Getzo players. Oh, but Keys is going to be the other side of the rock, and I don't think they know that. So from behind, he's going to get caught out. Danyar goes down. Nice, great play by Keys, and even though he's going to get knocked down himself, he was able to get 2 knocks. And now Kozu is going to come in on the sidelines. He's going to get the squad wipe. And you know what, Kurdish Boy Sqaud, again, I really don't think they did anything wrong on that push because they got the first initial knock, but it was simply Keys being behind that rock, had no information, and got a double knockdown on the Kurdish Boy Sqaud. And credit where it's due to the rest of Getzo, they responded, squad wipe, and they will survive.
Shots right now on. You know what? He went in, then went right back. That shot was an alert for him to. I think he was scouting for his team as well. He's going back right now, trying to see if it's possible for them to take another route. We've also got the flight team. I think they're going in.
Yeah.
Right in front. They're moving in right in front of Team 17,
Why?
which is.
Why are you going so deep on?
No.
No! Come on! Surely you got to presume that a team's there. Oh my lord! Oh, that's effing the chat boys for Riva. That was you hate to see it.
Scouting. That is just straight up pushing.
Yeah, that's not really scouting. But it does leave a fly team with 3 players left standing. Again, I can't really hate on them too much. They've had 3 consistent results, so I will give them the benefit of the doubt. And the rest of the team do respond pretty swiftly to that, to the point where they're able to get into a level of safety and away from a couple of other teams on the northern side of the river. Zombie will be picking up a little bit of a fight against this side of Rad. Rad made their way down from shooting range on this circle shift, and they're going to lose a player. So it's just Sidat and Desha left standing. They're going to go onto the edge of North George.
Rad tried their best to avoid losing a player, but I feel like it was inevitable from just the route that they were taking.
Yeah.
Yeah. they had to lose a player.
I really love Clown Esports' position where they have 3 players in that compound by the southern side of the river, and then they have Clown in the snipe. They have No Help in the sniper tower a little bit to the east of them, where he's able to get just an extra pair of eyes on a couple of other angles. And I really think that's a valuable position from No Help. Now, he might look to join up with the rest of his team by throwing out the smoke, but at least going there and getting a bit of information, I think, is really good stuff from him.
Yeah, that is. I mean, I feel like he was already aware of the position of the TSK team. There were a lot
True.
of shooting already, but yeah, it is a really good position. Is the other player joining him, or is it okay? It's the other way around. Okay, he's just coming for a kill.
Heading on over to the southern side of this Phase 2 Circle River. NASR Esports and No Limits. 2 teams who fought at the end of the last Vikendi game, picking things off once again. It was No Limits that came out on top, and Vikendi will let come out on top once again in the last game in Miramar. It will be the only game where NASR Esports don't finish in the top 5 if they get squad wiped right now. I'll tell you what, No Limits are a hell of a team to take them out of the running in this 4th game. They did get a knockdown onto one of the players, but Khalid in the back line gets a knockdown onto Bisk. However, Khalid and Wadia gets taken out by Karma. Nice play coming out for No Limits. Responding very well. Leaves NASR down to just 2 players. Make that one as clever. Gonna have to pull out a hell of a clever engagement if he's gonna come out on top of this. He will be able to at least get an initial knockdown onto his teammate, but all that's allowing is...
Fred Raouf right here.
Oh my god! I didn't even notice that! I didn't even notice that! Oh my god!
He's just stealing kills.
And you know what? The 2-man team of NASR Esports are just gonna say, like, screw this, I'm out of here. You guys can just survive. Oh my god, frag machines. Like, you gotta feel bad for No Limits, because they had the team fight, like, you know, clearly wiped up, right? But that third party from frag machines, from Roof in particular, that just shut them down.
He just clutched the kills and was like, you know what? Those are mine. And now NASR players are trying to disengage, but they still have 0 kills. Even though they started this fight with 2 kills on the No Limits team. That was one hell of a third party.
But simple.
I mean, it's done. It is done.
Yeah. Like, I was like, she's a bit presumptuous, but honestly, you were dead right. That's why I didn't respond, because I was like, yeah, she's right. It's done. It's done. And it was indeed. No, now we did see Phase 3 shift down south. So on one hand, it's a bit of a harsh shift, but on the other hand, at least the teams know exactly what side of the river it is. And I do think that's overall a solid Phase 3 shift.
Yeah, and it's fair for all the teams that are inside the circle right now. We only have 3 teams that are outside, and Snake are going to have, I feel like, somewhat of a clear rotation, even though Sirius is kind of... Okay, I think he's aware of the position of Frag team, and they're going to have a clear position route. They rotate into this edge of the circle.
The reason why they're going more towards the southwest is that because that Phase 2 was more towards the north, there's a much higher chance that there's less teams on the southern edge of this phase. And when you're coming in blind, and it was a great rotation for the SNAKEsquad from the northeast to the southeast, I do think that was a very clever rotation for the SNAKEsquad, and there's a lot of compounds in that area that they can, like, obviously loot up as well and spread out as a team, so that was very wisely done from themselves.
Yeah, we've got NAIX in the high position. I mean, any team that takes that position, I feel like, is I mean, they already have the kills. It's done. They got 0
Okay.
kills now, but I feel like that's going to add up very quickly.
I would kind of low-key disagree. I think it's incredibly hard to actually be quite controlling on Everest because it's such a vast mountain that as a team, you really got to kind of focus on one side in my eyes. And even then, for you to actually rack up kills from that area, I feel at times is tougher than you think. But now the next phase does shift away. It does go over to the southwest. Pabo sitting pretty inside Gaka. One of the few compounds inside the circle. Rad also looking good as a two-man team. NAIX Congenials do just have to make their way down the northern side of this Everest train into the compound down below, which they should have information already on whether a team is there or not.
Yeah, we've got Flight. They could be going into fight with Team 17. Exactly, I feel like that's what's happening right now, even though I feel like Team 17 is going to focus on getting their position inside the circle and not engage in this fight. Shots are continuous from Team Clown, though. They want to get the kill. They're not stopping, but TSK are taking coverage right away. Team Fly, though, took a very easy view on them. They ran from a fight just to engage into another one.
Hey, man. Job done indeed. GTS Getso. He's got knocked down, but the two-man team of Deadline Kuso looking to get finishing shots into both Viagra and Monster.
They're trying their best to survive. Both teams are outside the circle, though, so it's either they finish this fight right now or give the priority to their position into the circle. And I feel like it's going to be the first option.
Oh, that's a bit of a risky rotation from Getso to try and look for that revive by Kyosu, especially off the back of them not getting any kind of knock onto the members of NH. And now we're going to see Getso send Deadline into the circle. The smoking Dacia will at least survive, but what kind of position has been lost inside the circle as the blue zone is going to hit the floor. NAIX Congenials yet to really make their way down the Everest Mountain, sitting on the northern side. NASR Esports, the last player, cleverly being inside the fields of this circle, not going to move a muscle as Frag Machines are going to push themselves a little bit to the south of him. Outside the circle as the next shift has gone in the favor of Gaka. It's a Gaka center phase 5 as NH just going to send it in swinging. There's lots of fields, lots of open terrain surrounding this Gaka area, so it's not going to be easy for all of these teams.
PUBG already have the position that all teams wish to have, I feel like, right now. They've got great coverage. They've got just awesome view on everyone. So if they take that advantage, I feel like they're going to, unless the zone says no, not in my book.
That could be the case. That could be the case. And that's why they've got to be as controlling as possible in this center circle position while they can. Because if it shifts away and they have to, let's say, move in, even if it's just a little bit, but either way, outside of this Gaka train, and they haven't, controlled and gotten the kills and pushed teams back around them, it could become very, very scary for them. But Frag Machines are going to full send it in. Hussein is going to take down Hawalia. Nicely done by Frag Machine. So Sub-Zero's on his own. Where is the rest of Pavo? You got to provide that level of support. Sub-Zero should be looking to dance his way back towards the rest of his team. I'm getting a sense of deja vu. I've seen this kind of situation time and time again. Frag Machines could be looking to get the better of this team fight.
Oh, we've still got the NH player here. I thought they were long gone, but we got the player Viagra right here. He's still inside the circle right now. There's a lot of craziness going on right around him, so I feel like that's going to give him the advantage. What is that push,
Oh
man?
my god! Getso Esports also swinging their way in onto the edge of Gaka. Three squads inside Gaka. This compound can barely hold one, never mind 3. So this is going to be a slobber knocker of a team fight. I really fear for Solosty being on the roof. He jumps his way down, going to look for the pre-fire shots, nearly gets a knockdown. Indeed, that's going to come through, but he has to try and get the heals off. That's not going to be the case. He does pushes his way back into the building, but he isn't going to be able to confirm that kill just yet. Actually, no, I think he did. Indeed, he did confirm the kill before he danced away. So, Getzo down to 2 players. Inside that building, Pavo has Sub-Zero close by to Emperor and Solosty, but they're going to look to separate further. The circle goes in the favor of Frag Machine, so he's going to put a little bit of pressure on the Pavos. All the while, SNAKEsquad down on the southern side inside those compounds, but they have to move out into the open to make their way into the circle. TSK, they are also looking pretty good on the western side of the circle, just about hovering in as the blue zone starts gonna start making its way in the next 10 seconds.
Once again, we've got 1 player left from the NASR squad. Clever. Could he pull it this time and bring NASR to the top 5? I mean, they did that 3 times.
He's definitely making a little bit of noise inside that vehicle. He's just trying to wrap around Gaka. He has a limited information. He's gonna get spotted out by SNAKEsquad. He goes for the shots. He did get the knockdown, but it was Freak from behind inside Gaka that took down NASR Esports. A valiant effort nonetheless. That does put a lot of pressure on the SNAKEsquad. They made their way outside that compound in towards TSK. Lovely grenade by Series of SNAKEsquad to get a knockdown onto carry of the Spark Esports. That's going to give him time to execute those revives onto his teammate. He's actually going to dance in towards the blue. Serious? No way, Serious. Is that worth it? We'll have to wait and see. He dances his way out of it. He takes a little bit of health. He has 5 first aids. Putting the pressure on, taking the time away. He stopped that revive coming through. NAIX Congenials are getting a little bit of a third party onto the members of the Spark Esports, and Sirius makes his way in once again. He gets a lovely shot. He gets a lovely squad wipe. And Sirius, god damn it, that was absolutely tremendous, because it was a little bit unorthodox. It's a little bit risky, but by God, he knew what he wanted to pull off, and indeed, he pulled it off.
Oh my God, I mean, his teammates were reviving. There was no way they were gonna be there in time in case he was knocked down, but he really pulled that off.
Frag Machines focused a little bit more on towards the players that were outside of Gaka and didn't think about Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero got a lovely double knock, a double kill on towards the members of Frag Machines and NAIX Congenials. NAIX Congenials looking to pick up their first chicken dinner on the final game of the day in this SNAKEsquad Christmas event. Down goes Frag Machines. 2 teams left. It's going to be 2 against 1. Sirius on his own. He's able to get off that first aid just in time, followed by smoke grenade. But he is on just a tiny bit of a high ground. Jackie gonna send himself flanking to the side for NAIX Congenial. I believe they have a strong idea on where Sirius is. Now grenade is going to be cooked up by Jackie. Sirius has nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Shots are being fired up, but Sirius finds a knock. He finds a golden touch. And look, he dances around. He's going to reposition on the side. He does prone himself or crouch himself down on the side of the rock. And what an incredible individual effort for Sirius of SNAKEsquad. He has no fear. Just fight. As he looks to claim the chicken dinner. Out in the open he goes, but it's not gonna be enough. And it is going to be NAIX Congenials that claim the chicken dinner in Erangel.
I mean, he could have done it. He really could have done it. I understand that he's a bit further away from the circle, but come on. He could have waited just a little bit. I feel like that it was that adrenaline rush that he had.
I agree with you, but I suppose I just can't really... I can't hate on that effort, right? Look at what he'd done up until that point. You know, he single-handedly took down the Spark Esports inside that compound. He got his team up into that point. He took down Jackie behind that tree, prone down. And you know what? You're right. It was that adrenaline rush. It was that kind of like that belief. You know.
He could have closed it off really beautifully. I mean, a grenade would have done the job.
But did he have a grenade? That's the thing.
That's true.
That's the thing. Only he knows what he could have done better. I still say a damn valiant effort, Serious, and a damn valiant effort, SNAKEsquad. But in the end, NAIX Congenials, they held on to Everest. They came down from Everest. I still think they could have come down from Everest a little bit earlier. But by coming down and going into the circle at the time that they did, it allowed for the other teams to kind of take each other out, especially the three teams that all threw themselves into Gatka that ended up being outside of the circle. Frag Machines got caught out. So did Spav from Pavo. Sorry, Sub-Zero from Pavo. And then NAIX Congenials just overall clean things up. But what a crazy game once again.
That was a crazy game. Shifts were insane. Sears did an amazing job. I mean, he took that blue zone like it was a nothing and closed off that fight. That was an amazing job. NAIX, Jackie was knocked down, but at the end, they took the chicken dinner very, very nicely. And I feel like it was that push from Series that gave them that, but it was well deserved regardless.
Oh, baby. NAIX Congenials, first place, 7 kills. SNAKEsquad in second, 3 kills for themselves. Frag Machines in third, getting 11 kills. A strong result with those kills and placement points. Pavo in fourth, getting 4 kills. You had the Spark Esports getting fifth with 5 kills. Clown in sixth, getting 1. Yeah, Getso in seventh, getting 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 kills for themselves. Very strong amount of kills for Getso. And H in 8th with 4 kills. NASR Esports in 9th with 2 kills. And you know what? You can't hate on that. That was like their worst placement standings, you know, in today's games. And for 9th to be your worst, I say that's a successful day.
Yeah, definitely. They did an amazing job. And I mean, they wanted to just back off, give other teams a chance to be in the top 5. I feel like in the last game, they didn't have to push that hard, it's great for them.
Zombies in 10th with 1 kill. You had Fly Team in 11th with 2 kills. You had Rad in 12th with 0 kills. No Limits in 13th with 3 kills. You had Kurdish Boy Sqaud in 14th with 0 kills. And the 9, 6, 3 in 15th with 0 kills. Oh boy. Unfortunately, we aren't going to be able to give you an overall standings result this early. You will have to, of course, follow the SNAKEsquad clan on social media or join their Discord server to find out who finished on top of the standings in these 4 games and who claimed victory in the SNAKEsquad Christmas event. Either way, all I can say is that they were absolutely fantastic games, and it was genuinely great fun to cast with yourself, Sufi.
This was a really awesome experience. I've had so much fun, and I really hope everyone and yourself enjoyed this as much as I did. Thank you so much for having me. Thanks to the SNAKEsquad for this incredible opportunity.
Absolutely awesome. So on the note, again, like Susie said, just to echo what she said, thank you so much to SNAKEsquad for asking me to stream this. Thank you very much to everybody for tuning in, supporting the stream, supporting your teams. Of course, stay awesome, stay safe out there, enjoy your holiday period. And of course, if you'd like to, you can give myself a follow over on Instagram at EVT_ImPERium. You can follow Sufi at, is it BF_Sufi?
It's PUBG_Sufi.
Damn, I was like, it's something underscore Sufi, and I was like, I wasn't sure. PUBG underscore Sufi, go give her a follow on Instagram. And look, on that note, as I said, stay safe, enjoy your festive period, so to speak, and I will see you guys another time.